On this episode, diversion, camping in Greenland, and finding the ultimate bliss. Good morning, guys, and what a beautiful morning. Kangerlussuaq and amazing weather, beautiful scenery, icebergs out on the sea. I'm really loving it so far. Today's plan, Ilulissat, just a 2.5 hour flight. It's very nice here, but cloudy as we get closer to Greenland. So we're gonna head down to the airport now, get ready, and off we go. One thing that's really not healthy for the props is the gravel. And of course it's a gravel apron and the gravel runway, because the little pebbles get sucked into the air by the prop, and then it ends up with small little dings on the propeller blade. So I'm just trying to clear out as much of these pebbles from underneath as possible and do a run-up here. So I'm trying to put on my dry suit. While I'm doing that, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes. They're just invading my plane. Alright, so we got 200 liters of fuel, almost full tanks. Perfect. Come on. My oxygen bottle is ready. Life vest. Raft, emergency bag is here. Let's get the show on the road. Or into the air, I should say.
Kangerlussuaq, automated weather observation system, sky clear, temperature 13.
Nice weather. Kangerlussuaq radio, good morning, Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu.
Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu, Kangerlussuaq Airport Radio, good morning.
So the guys will open up the flight plan for us. It's an IFR flight plan, but uncontrolled airspace, so no clearance is needed.
Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu, Kangerlussuaq Airport Radio, winds 210 true at 10 knots, altimeter 29905, no reported traffic.
Roger, altimeter 29905, bowing from Zulu, thanks. Alright guys, here we go. Takeoff power is set. Gear coming up. So are the flaps. Climb power is set. Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu airborne at 27. Confirm flight plan is open.
Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu, roger, and we'll open the flight plan now.
Thanks very much, Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu. Bye-bye, Canada. A truly spectacular scenery that we've seen along our routes. And I see some clouds up ahead. I hope we're gonna be above them, or at least between the layers. Anyways, time to get the oxygen bottle out. This is our mask, and right here is the bottle. It's a big bottle, and I still have plenty of oxygen. Probably enough to make 3 more trips like this. New confirmation is 120.3. That's 1,000.
European collision
And we can already hear traffic, or... Nope. Okay, let's get the oxygen going. There's a little valve, you open it, and that little indicator ball, try to get it to the altitude where you're at roughly. So the temperature up here is around 0. Definitely potential for icing if we do enter cloud. The freezing level is quite low today. So if I do encounter icing, I'm gonna most likely go lower, below the freezing level, which can be even as low as 5,000 feet. Good news is I see SSR is picking up my signal. Basically a radar is picking me up. I can see that on the little indication on my transponder. So somebody is tracking me. If something does go wrong, I can enter an emergency squawk code, which is 7700, and then all the bells and whistles will be activated at the site that's monitoring monitoring the radar, and they can dispatch search and rescue for me. Leveling off at 1000 or flight level 110. Get the airplane tripped. Just entered the Nuke FIR, or Greenland airspace, and the radio reception is very nice. I could get in touch with them right away. About 1 hour out, I'll get the weather report from them, see what the weather looks like. There's no time out for Ilulissat, that they have limited avgas available. So I will see once I get there, if I have any luck. Anyways, I have still quite a lot of fuel, if there's no avgas there. I'll spend the night in Ilulissat. Next morning I'll fly down to Kangerlussuaq, fuel up there, and before proceeding to Kulusuk. So no icing so far. Maybe just a trace. But we're in and out of clouds here, so I think we're gonna keep flight level 110 for now. Okay, so we're about 1 hour out from Ilulissat. I'm gonna ask for the latest weather.
Ilulissat Meta 1450, wind 180.6 knots. Visibility more than 0 kilometers, a few at 200 feet. Overcast at 500 feet. Temperature 9, 2.8, QNH 1016 hectopascal.
Okay, so the weather is not so good. Overcast 500, which means it is below the minima. The minimum I can take is pretty much 700 feet, which means I will probably have to change my destination to Kangerlussuaq.
Thunderstorm altimeter 1450, wind variable 6 knots, visibility more than 10 kilometers, view 5,500 feet.
And this copy QNH 1015, so Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu, I would like to change my destination to Kangerlussuaq.
Okay, Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu information, roger, request present position. And would you like to go direct Sierra Foxtrot, and what flight level, and when do you estimate 90 miles?
Okay, unfortunate, Ilulissat is not in our books once again. Oh well, you know, that's aviation. You always gotta be flexible and patient, especially in this part of the world. And I'm just waiting for my clearance.
Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu, clear to Sonnestrom. Direct Sierra Foxtrot, flight level 110, squawk 1771.
Well, since we're going to Kangerlussuaq and we've already been there, let's see if we can make it perhaps to Kulusuk today. About 1 hour to turn around probably, and Kulusuk closes at 20:00. No, that's not gonna work. So we'll probably spend the night in Kangerlussuaq. Thunderstorm approach. Very good day, Lima Yankee Bravo from Zulu.
You can expect vectors for localizer or visual approach runway 09.
Descend 8,000 feet, KNH 1015, Lima Uniform Zulu. Alright, so here we go. 8,000 feet. Vertical speed.
Track line up 09, Greenland 507. One engine initially, request startup. Lima Uniform Zulu, wind 090 degrees, 8 knots on a 09, clear to land.
Clear to land, 09er, Lima Uniform.
Lima Uniform Zulu, vacate right via taxiway Charlie and hold on the taxiway initially. Marshal is coming up. Lima Uniform Zulu, follow the Marshal.
Beyond the Marshal, Lima Uniform Zulu, thanks.
So here we are once again at this airport FBO, and no customs procedures needed. Now I'm gonna try and find a hotel room, which the guy in the FBO said there could be a problem with. I think everybody may be fully booked up, but yeah, let's give it a try. So, no hotel rooms available in Kangerlussuaq. I will head back to the airplane, get all my camping stuff, and camp out in Greenland for tonight.
And conveniently, there is a campground located right by the airport.
Well, there it is, my hotel room for the night, all set up. I'm gonna get something to eat now, and possibly find some store, get some supplies, get a good night's sleep, and tomorrow morning, early start. 7 a.m. I should be at the airport getting ready and take off at 8 a.m. to Kulusuk and then onwards to Iceland.
In the evening I went out for a short ride around the town to some scenic spots and went back to my tent for an early night's sleep. Since the campground is right by the airport, it started getting noisy from around 5 a.m.
Good morning.
And I was up early enjoying the nice crisp morning. I slowly packed up all my gear and went down to the airport cafeteria for some breakfast.
Okay guys, so here's the update. Weather between Greenland and Iceland is pretty bad. And I'm not risking it, of course. I will wait it out. But the question is how long it's gonna take. And that seems to be at least 4 days. So, I'm here in Kangerlussuaq now. There's no hotel rooms tonight as well. I would like a nice shower and a warm night's sleep tonight. But we'll see. So, one of my options is to go to Kulusuk. They don't have avgas there, but what I can do is fill up the jerry cans once I get there, top off my tanks. And wait it out there. They do have a hotel room available there, but it's still foggy, so I cannot go to Kulusuk just yet. I'll wait that out as well and see if I can make it there tonight. If not, perhaps another night in a tent here in the Kangerlussuaq. We'll see.
The airport was busy, and it was obviously the peak of tourism season here in Greenland. So it wasn't the best time to get stuck without a reservation. but a very friendly employee at the FBO said he will look for some spare rooms at the worker housing later in the day.
Well guys, as you can see, I didn't leave for Kulusuk. The weather in Kulusuk was borderline. I didn't think it was worth it risking to go there just to come back here. So I'm monitoring the weather closely, and hopefully tomorrow there will be a window in the morning. In the meantime, just enjoying the beautiful surroundings here in Greenland.
This was a nice spot to spend a couple of hours doing some reading, watching airplanes take off and land, and of course praying to the weather gods for some mercy.
Oh, come on, weather. Be nice. Even though I like Greenland a lot, I still would like to get home this season. Anyways, let's head back into town. Almost 5, the store's about to close. I need to get some snacks. And how about muskox burger? Yeah, let's go for that.
After getting some food, I went back to the FBO to see if there was a spare room for me tonight. And luckily there was. I had a nice kitchen to prepare some food for the morning and a comfortable warm bed. Perfect.
Good morning, guys. Pretty cold morning today. It's about, I don't know, 3-5 degrees. My hands are freezing, but nice sunny day here in Kangerlussuaq. Just pedaling back to the airport. Gonna make my way to Kulusuk today.
Still locked. So these things right here that you see scattered all over town are little rockets that were used for rocket assisted takeoff on the C-130s, probably some other airplanes as well. But what they would do is strap these onto the side of the airplane, and on takeoff they would power them up so the airplane can take off in a shorter distance or even overloaded. And here they're being repurposed as ashtrays. Yeah, pretty clever.
Alright, let's see what it says.
Kulusuk was still showing probability of fog, but the actual weather was very nice, so I decided to go.
Alright, so just strapping in, all set to go, walk around complete. Let's get the clearance.
And your clearance is leave controlled airspace via Whiskey 28, flight level 110.
Clear prop.
Alright, so we're all set. Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu, request taxi.
Lima Uniform Zulu, backtrack, line up runway 27, correction runway 09 via taxiway Charlie.
Okay, taxiway Charlie, enter backtrack runway 09er. We took off from Kangerlussuaq and are on our way to Kulusuk. We are climbing to flight level 120. The guys behind me in the Cirrus were heading to Reykjavik, had some kind of an issue, so they had to taxi back to the ramp. That's unfortunate. I hope everything's okay with them. Technical issue in Greenland can be very costly. Of course, if you need some part shipped in, expedited, that's of course gonna cost a lot to ship to Greenland. Then you gotta find a mechanic to do any repairs, And of course, while you wait for that, you have to consider the hotel and airport expenses, which can really add up if you have wait a long time. So I certainly hope that everything will be sorted out for those guys and they can continue on to Iceland. Anyways, we are now over the ice cap, and it's looking pretty nice. There's a layer of cloud, but the visibility is generally very good. You can see the terrain below us. It's an unforgiving terrain for sure. Okay, so the guys in the Cirrus seem to have solved their problem. Good for them. We can continue on to Reykjavik. Okay, so just to demonstrate, guys, how much your blood oxygen can drop at flight level 120, or legally you could fly without oxygen. But as you can see, I'm showing around 80%, even drops below 80. So of course that's not a good percentage of oxygen for your blood. And see what happens when I open the oxygen bottle. So you can see the oxygen is flowing, and as you can see, that's bringing it up to a nice 95% and higher. And Lima Yankee Bravo Uniform Zulu is overhead paybar.
Lima Uniform Zulu, no information. Are you HF or SAT phone equipped?
Affirmative, I have a SAT phone, Lima Uniform Zulu.
Roger, we will lose VHF coverage between Peva and Masick. If you need to get in contact with us, you can try so via SAT phone, otherwise next will be overhead Masick on 120.3.
So we're just approaching Masick Point. We'll contact Nuke Information, let them know that we're descending.
Lima Uniform Zulu coming in a little bit broken up. Copied you inbound Kulusuk out of 120. Wind is 320, magnetic 5 knots. Visibility more than 10 kilometers. View at 2,000 feet. Temperature 9.
My Uniform Zulu is on a 5-mile final runway 10. Yes, undercarriage, extra prop.
Lima Uniform Zulu on ground 5-4.
So here we are, Kulusuk once again, and I think I may have gotten lucky with the weather because I can see the fog is just rolling in from the sea right now. .86 and 58 liters on the right, so let's put the jerry can in on the right tank and we'll be good to go to Reykjavik. Alright, so just finished putting this jerry can in the airplane, and now I have a total of 44 gallons, which is plenty enough to get me to Reykjavik. The reason I didn't fill the other two is they're metal, and apparently in Kangerlussuaq they say that they are not allowed to fill metal jerry cans, only plastic. Anyways, now I'm gonna get the airplane, or the inside of the airplane, cleaned up a little bit because I have things all over the place. It's just so disorganized. Yeah, I need to repack my bag and prioritize the things that I'll be using, which ones I will not be using. So that's gonna take probably a while, another, hopefully no more than an hour, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Anyways, let's get to work. So, plane's ready. Let's head down to the hotel. They should have a room available for me tonight. Tomorrow, maybe not. So we'll see. The guy in the tower said there may be a crew lounge couch available for me. Anyways, let's go hope for the best. So, here's 107. Not too bad, not too bad. Cozy little room. Nice view. After checking in, I went out to explore Kulusuk. It's a small village with just over 200 inhabitants, where sled dogs seem to outnumber people. It's a place where you can feel the traditional fishing and hunting lifestyle of the locals, although many now rely on tourism as their main source of income. I went in to check out their local supermarket with a fairly big selection of rather interesting products. There are several other villages in close proximity to Kulusuk which can be reached by boat or helicopter, the biggest one being Ilulissat that we saw on our approach here. The east coast of Greenland only has a population of around 3,000 people, and being so isolated, they have developed traditions and a dialect that differs significantly from those in the west. As you can see, 9 degrees Celsius is the heat of the summer here, and the locals are out having a swim. After having dinner at the hotel, we get a nice treat to hear some traditional East Greenland Inuit songs. The landscapes here are just spectacular, and in the evening sun, it truly is a magical sight. And of course, I could not pass up the opportunity to enjoy a sauna with the best view in the world, just as the sun sets over the mountains. Another perfect moment. In the morning, I had a nice breakfast at the hotel restaurant and went down to the airport at the invitation of the AFIS officer to watch the action as an Icelandair -8 arrives from Reykjavik, and also to assess the conditions for a flight to Iceland myself, although I already knew I was staying for another night and really just wanted to see this from the tower. And also this, an Airbus helicopter H-155 mysteriously flying with its blades stationary. I spent the entire day outside, biking, hiking,
enjoying the scenery and making new friends.
Well, how about that, guys? Kulusuk, Greenland. What a view. Amazing. That over there is the former radar site of the dew line. Die 4, it's called. It's already dismantled. But anyways, it's about an 8-kilometer hike. I opted out. This is plenty of a good view for me.
Being stuck here for 2 nights has truly been a blessing. I can't really explain it, but I found such a deep connection to this place where I could just sit and stare at these mountains for hours. And where else in the world would you experience a thing like this? As the sun dips over the mountains, all the dogs in the village howl as if to say goodnight. So, good night, friends. See you on the next one.